In the heart of South Memphis, a woman named Simone Carter learned the truth about her family from a hospital bed. 6 weeks earlier, she had welcomed a baby daughter named Nia into the world. Life seemed steady at last. Then fate arrived at a busy intersection and shattered everything in a single moment. What followed would expose secrets buried for nearly a decade. A delivery truck ignored a red light and crashed into Simone's car as she drove home after a late shift. When she opened her eyes again, bright hospital lights stared back at her. 3 ribs were broken. 1 lung had collapsed. Her right arm rested in a heavy cast. Her husband, Marcus, was hundreds of miles away on a business trip, racing home as fast as he could. Someone needed to care for baby Nia that night. Simone's mother lived barely 20 minutes from the hospital. Marcus called and explained everything. The answer came back cold and simple. No. One sentence followed that would echo through the years. Your sister never has these kinds of problems. The words landed harder than the crash itself. Simone's younger sister, Brielle, was relaxing on a luxury cruise somewhere in the Caribbean. Meanwhile, their mother sat comfortably inside a casino, guarding a cat while her granddaughter needed someone to hold her through the night. A cat had outranked a newborn child. Most people expected tears from the woman lying broken beneath hospital blankets. None came. Simone stared at the identification band wrapped around her wrist. Then she reached for her phone with her left hand. There were problems to solve. Solving problems was what she had done her entire life. Long before that night, Simone had become the dependable daughter. She grew up in a worn duplex where winter winds slipped through cracks in the walls. While others dreamed, she worked. Grocery stores, scholarships, night classes, internships. Every step forward came from effort rather than luck. By 32, she was a respected financial analyst for a major corporation in Atlanta. Executives trusted her with numbers worth millions. She built a quiet life with Marcus. They avoided debt, saved carefully, and lived below their means. Few people noticed how much they had sacrificed to build that stability. For nearly 9 years, Simone had quietly transferred money to her parents every month. She never discussed it. Not with Marcus. Not with friends. Not with anyone. She believed she was helping pay medical bills and keeping the family home secure. Responsibility had become part of her identity. That night in the emergency room, the first thing she did was protect her daughter. Within minutes, she contacted an overnight childcare agency she and Marcus had researched before Nia's birth. A nurse arrived at their house less than an hour later and sent a photo of the baby sleeping peacefully. Only after Nia was safe did Simone turn her attention elsewhere. Her banking application glowed in the darkness. 4 recurring transfers appeared on the screen. Each one carried a familiar label. Parents. Mortgage. Medical. Brielle. Together they drained thousands of dollars every month. 4 years, those payments had flowed automatically, like a river nobody questioned. Simone stared at the total. Nearly $500,000 had disappeared over time. She had never forced herself to calculate it before. Seeing the number all at once felt like stepping into cold water. One by one, her thumb pressed the cancel button. The first transfer vanished. Then the second. Then the third. Then the fourth. 4 taps. Less than a minute. 9 years of obligation ended in silence. The river finally stopped flowing. As she closed the application, another transaction caught her attention. Buried among medical payments sat a mysterious $40,000 withdrawal marked with a single letter. It wasn't connected to hospital bills. It pointed somewhere else entirely. Somewhere much closer to home. Lying beneath the steady rhythm of hospital monitors, Simone confronted a truth she had avoided for years. She had mistaken being needed for being loved. She believed carrying everyone else's burdens guaranteed her place in the family. That belief had cost her more than money. An older woman had once warned her. Her grandmother, Evelyn Carter, possessed the sharp eyes of someone who missed nothing. Before her passing, she told Simone, "Watch the money. Some people spend truth faster than cash." At the time, Simone thought it was simple advice. Now it sounded like a prophecy. The next morning, Simone received another call from Marcus. This time, he repeated every word her mother had spoken. There was no misunderstanding. No confusion. The woman had known her daughter was in surgery. She had known a newborn needed care. Yet she still chose convenience over family. After the call ended, Simone opened social media. Brielle's latest post filled the screen. Crystal blue water sparkled behind her. A tropical drink rested in her hand. The caption celebrated living her best life. The contrast between that luxury and a hospital room felt almost unreal. Instead of arguing, Simone sent a message to someone she trusted. The contact simply read, "Grandpa James." 3 words appeared on the screen. "We need to talk." The response came almost instantly. It was as if he had been waiting years for that message. Hours later, Simone's phone buzzed again. This time it was Brielle calling from the cruise ship. She didn't ask about the accident. She didn't ask about the baby. Her concern centered on a declined payment card at the resort spa. The conversation revealed something startling. Brielle genuinely believed the money came from a shared family account. She had no idea her older sister had been funding her lifestyle for years. Their mother had carefully hidden the truth. The illusion had become so complete that Brielle thought financial support appeared almost by magic. The following day, family messages began spreading through group chats. Simone's mother painted herself as a victim. Relatives were told that a selfish daughter had suddenly abandoned struggling parents. Sympathy poured in from people who knew only one side of the story. Most would have rushed to defend themselves. Simone did not. She opened her laptop instead. Numbers had never lied to her before. If answers existed, they would be hidden inside records, statements, and transaction histories. Facts would speak louder than feelings. Hour after hour, she traced nearly 9 years of financial activity. The picture that emerged was devastating. Genuine medical expenses accounted for only a small fraction of the money. Mortgage payments barely registered. Hundreds of thousands of dollars had vanished elsewhere. One trail led repeatedly to casinos across the Mississippi region. Withdrawal after withdrawal appeared with astonishing consistency. Another trail flowed directly toward Brielle's accounts. The evidence painted a picture impossible to deny. Simone had not been supporting a family in crisis. She had been financing habits and luxuries. That evening, Marcus arrived carrying baby Nia. For a few precious moments, the 3 of them simply existed together. No spreadsheets. No betrayal. No family drama. Just a mother, a father, and a child who knew nothing of the storm gathering around her. 3 hours later, an elderly man entered the hospital room carrying a worn folder secured with faded rubber bands. Grandpa James moved carefully, leaning on a cane polished smooth by time. He placed the folder at the foot of the bed and looked directly at his granddaughter. His voice was low but steady. "The truth has been waiting a long time." Then he revealed something unexpected. He and Simone's late grandmother had known pieces of the story for years. They had quietly investigated after noticing suspicious spending and unexplained lifestyle changes. According to James, Simone's grandmother had spent her final months working alongside an attorney. She feared what would happen if certain family members gained control of everything she and her husband had built. Documents had been prepared. Signatures collected. Protections put into place. Before leaving, James gave one final warning. The upcoming family gathering would not be about reconciliation. It would be about pressure. Simone would be expected to apologize, restore the money, and return to her role as the family's silent provider. But this time, she would not stand alone. Sunday arrived beneath gray autumn skies. Relatives filled the family home. Brielle sat scrolling through her phone. Simone's mother wore the smile of a woman convinced she still controlled the story. Then the front door opened. Simone entered carrying her daughter. Marcus walked beside her. Behind them came Grandpa James with the worn folder tucked beneath his arm. None of the people inside that house understood it yet, but the account they had been drawing from for years was closed forever, and before the night ended, a truth buried beneath money, favoritism, and lies would finally step into the light.